Alrighty, everybody. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone is doing good. I don't know why my mic decided it was not going to work there last second. Anyways, friends, what's up, everybody? Welcome back here to another live. So we are going to be picking up here on the coverage that is ongoing here. Let's go ahead and start, because we're going to go live on shorts here, too. That way we can help out as many people tonight as possible, because we got a bit of nasty weather going on out here for today. Anyways, friends, what's up, everybody? Welcome back here to another live. We're going to go ahead and jump on into it here. Let's go ahead and see who we got here. We have Happy, we have Red Cyclonic, we have Kim, we have Darian. Let's see here. We have Blood, we have Black Label, we have Ponderosa, Kath, Mark. What's up, guys? Hope everyone is doing good. So I did say earlier we were going to pick up in the night shift because, everybody was streaming during the daytime, which, I felt like during the day we had enough people covering this, which made me feel good. But the thing is that, as a lot of those people get tired, it's like somebody needs to take over the night shift because, the severe weather is going to continue into the overnight hours. So with that being said, that is why we are here tonight. I'm going to do a little bit of coverage here with you guys overnight here because, like I mentioned, we still do have that active threat. We still have a tornado watch in effect for the areas here in southern Alabama. We also do have a current severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Auburn in Opelika, I think that's how you say that, towards Smith Station, here for the possibility of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as maybe even the possibility here for hail that could get up to about penny size. Penny size hail really is not much to really worry about. Honestly, it's kind of the last of your concerns, let's be real. Penny size hail ain't going to do much. That's not going to do much. The thing you got to really look out for on this storm is just, potential for like 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and whatnot here overall. Let's take a peek at the velocity here. So, honestly, let's see. Do they have a tornado possible on that? They do not. They do not. Okay, so we're going to keep a close eye on these storms here because, they are still going to be the they do still have the possibility to become tornadic overnight. Like we mentioned, the tornado threat is not over with. It is still going to continue to be an issue throughout the night, unfortunately. So. Anyways, let's see here. See, Victoria says, hello from Northern California. What's up? Welcome, welcome. See, Drew says, will Augusta, Georgia get tornadoes tonight? So, here's the thing. I'm just going to pull up Augusta. Let's see here. See, I'm not really, I've heard of Augusta, Georgia before, but I don't remember where it's at. Okay, so you're on the far eastern side. No, honestly, I think you're pretty good. The thing that we got to look out for, we're basically where the risk is now. Let's go and bring up SPC for you guys. Wow, that's really bright. That is really, really bright. So where we're at now, here's the valid outlook. So for your region, you're kind of obviously towards the border between South Carolina and Georgia, which you're like right in here. You are in a generalized thunderstorm threat, which means that there could be some thunderstorms in the area. You could get some thunderstorm action. A few booms of thunder here and there is can't be really ruled out. But the thing is that with the valid outlook and everything that we do have here now, the thing we got to look out for is mostly west of you. So, honestly, you're looking pretty good out there, Drew. Really not a lot to worry about. The thing is, though, is that as we hop our way into the outlook later today, this is not for you. This is just south of you. For like southern Georgia and like the panhandle here, Florida, we do have another continuation of a 2% chance for tornadoes. When did they add that? That's brand new out here in California. Look at that. We've got a 2% risk out here. Wow. Okay, that's new. I did not see that, actually. That's brand new. We still have a continuation of 5% chance for damaging wind gusts and really no hail expected tomorrow or later today, I should say. So that's good. So yeah, the main thing we got to look out there for is just some gusty winds and maybe still an isolated tornado or two. Could be quite possible for later on today. But like I mentioned, that's not the valid day one outlook. This right here is the valid day one outlook. You know what, guys? We're gonna stop on the shorts page. I think we're having a little bit of issues here. We're just gonna do our normal stream here. But anyways, So that is what we got going on there. So, but yeah, we still have that valid outlook here, which is that enhanced risk here overall. Let's see here. Blood says, "Sup, Andrew? What are we in for?" So, as of now, with the latest valid outlook, so this is the current SPC outlook here. We do got that enhanced risk at level 3 severe weather threat still. Like I said, we still have that tornado watch in effect for a little bit longer as well. We still have the 10% chance for significant tornado possibility. So there is, still going to be that possibility where we could see some tornadic activity and, perhaps maybe even some significant tornadic activity, really couldn't be ruled out. So what that does mean is that there is potential that some of those storms potentially could be EF2 or greater. As you can see here from SPC, the hatch risk area, the 10% greater probability, which is in the yellow here, which, we still have that threat actively going on in areas of Alabama here. It's not done yet. So that threat's going to linger in for a little bit longer, which, that's what we're covering here, basically. On top of that, we do have a 30% chance for damaging winds. So there is going to be the possibility for some damaging wind gusts, likely ranging between maybe 60 and 70 miles per hour. Once again, these are on your thunderstorm winds. These are what the wind gusts could get up to. So basically the strongest winds in the storm could get up to right around 60, maybe 70. And then lastly, we have a little itty-bitty 5% hail threat, to be honest with you. I think the hail threat's pretty much done. But yeah, this is the latest valid outlook. So we'll definitely, be tuning in here and there every once in a while just to, check up on the SPC and whatnot, which let's see here, the new day 1 outlook. I don't know when the next one's going to come through. Let's see here. See, this shows by 0 Zulu UTC, but it's already 0639 Zulu. That's interesting. Anyways, we'll keep a close eye on that for any updates and stuff. Let's see here. All right, Drew says, okay, thanks, Andrew. I was worried about the storm. You're good, man. No worries. Like I said, that's what we're here for, is to help keep you guys, up to date with everything going on. So as of now, we thankfully, knock on wood, we do not have any tornado warnings as of now. However, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect here towards eastern Alabama, including the cities of Auburn, out there by Opelika. Does anybody in the chat know how to say that? Anybody know how to say that? It's one of those names I have a little bit of a hard time saying here. So, yeah, Auburn's the main area here that's in that warning there. We have Smith Station here as well, Mott, Salem. Let's see here, out there by Blanton, Beans Mill, interesting one, Tuckersburg. Let's see here, Oak, Bowery, and Gold Hill. So those are some of the regions out there in, pretty much southeastern, pretty much east central Alabama here. Once again, possibility of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, within that storm. Okay, so they actually updated that. Look at that. They added a tornado possible tag with this here overall. So basically what they do is whenever you get a tornado possible tag, it means that, a tornado is possible. It could happen in the storm here. It doesn't mean that, there's an immediate danger of a tornado at the, at the current moment. There's not, because if there was an immediate danger of a tornado, there would be a tornado warning. This is a tornado possible, just telling you to remain alert for a possible tornado, as it is possible. No reason to freak out, no reason to worry about that. Just keep an eye on it, and if you have to take action, if you need to go in your shelter, just know where to go. Basically, it's what all you got to really do with that. Anyways. So yeah, we do have this line that's kicking off here. Let's do a little bit of a velocity check here. We're just going to scan through this mess. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this this window here. I do want to look at this. It actually looks like that storm that's warned might have a little bit of rotation on it. So they did recently add that tornado possible tag we were just looking at. It looks like there might be something going on out there towards like Auburn area, so we'll have to look out. Opelika, says Blood. Is that how you say it? Is it Opelika? Huh. I'll have to try to remember that. That one's going to be a little hard to remember. Some of these, hey, I tell you, some of these are not really easy for me to remember here. Most of the time I just forget them. I'll try to remember that, though. But also Salem, like I said, Bleecker, I think it is, and Smith Station. Yeah, those areas here is in the warning as well. So we have a little bit longer on that. Let's see, until 1:30 a.m. Central. So that's it's still about 45 minutes or so. So that's gonna be in effect for a little bit longer. Let's see here. Let's look up in the chat. I can't even English tonight. Let's see. Just out of curiosity, what weather apps do I use? This is GR2 Analyst. Good for looking at radar. Let's see here. Teresa says, just woke up. No, we had a freak tornado pop up in Pensacola this afternoon. I just woke up. Bad weather for Pensacola tonight. Please and thank you. So here, let's bring back. Actually, yeah, we'll go and bring back SPC and whatnot. So for Pensacola, we do actually have that slight risk that's in effect there. So we are actively in a severe weather risk here for Pensacola. As of right now, looking back over here at the radar, there is no active severe thunderstorm warnings or anything like that. However, we do have some storms that's starting to approach Pensacola. These guys are currently not a problem. They're currently not actively severe at the current moment. But off the coast, we do have a special marine warning here just south and southwest of Pensacola that's currently in effect here. This is more of a problem for the boaters because, being out in the water is a little bit more dangerous than being on land, of course. But yeah, we do have some storms rolling through. We are actively in that slight risk still. So given the risk and everything like that, we are not saying that these things will go severe, but we are in that active threat for the possibility of them being severe. So that is something that we do need to look out for. So yeah, it is possible that we could have some severe storms rolling through tonight, and we're gonna be live for a little bit here just to kind of keep you guys in the loop of everything. Let you all know what's going on warning wise and whatnot. Like we mentioned, knock on wood, as of right now. We are clear from tornado warnings, but we do still have this tornado watch in effect here, which will remain in effect. When does this get canceled? See, until 3 a.m. Central. So that still doesn't expire for another 3 hours and 15 minutes or so. So yeah, we still got a while. Before that one does get canceled. In the watch itself here, from the Storm Prediction Center here, a few tornadoes and a couple intense tornadoes likely. Scattered damaging wind gusts to 70 miles per hour likely. Scattered thunderstorms will affect much of the watch area through the overnight. Watch area through the overnight area in the region for very strong lower level winds. A few of the storms may occasionally pose a risk for tornadoes and damaging wind gusts. So yeah, that's really what we're looking out there for tonight. Let's see here. What's the day 3 outlook for Louisiana look like? All right, we'll get into that here. We're gonna dive more into that whenever it becomes. Or whenever this event's over with. What I like to do is I like to try to, keep everybody focused on one event. Yes, we do have a risk for severe weather on Saturday. This is the latest outlook. We have pretty much the same areas here is in the risk areas here, which we do need to look out for very closely. We'll definitely keep an eye out there for that whenever the time comes. But we're going to keep it focused here. Okay, so since we have an active threat, we're going to be mostly focusing, or we are just going to be focusing on this event here. That way, we'll get through that. And then after this, we have a couple of days to prepare. Because like I mentioned, this is Saturday. I mean, obviously today is, now Thursday. So we do still have a couple of days to prep for this, even after this event. So let's just keep an eye on this one for now, okay? But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it though. It does look like it could be something, some significant for Saturday, which we'll have to definitely look into. Let's see here. What's up, K-Jack? Hope you're doing good. No Name says Bay County, Florida. Where's Bay County? Let's go and take a look at that real quickly. Bay County, Florida. Oh, this is out by Panama City. Gotcha. You guys, I think y'all are in that marginal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you guys are in the level 1 threat still. So overnight there is the slim possibility for some severe weather. It's pretty low odds. There is a 2% chance for tornadic activity out there. Let's see here, 5% chance for damaging wind gusts, potentially ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. at maximum gusts, I should say. Not really expecting any crazy hail or anything like that. So just kind of a little threat here of, an isolated tornado. Being, very, very unlikely for this area, but not impossible. And of course, the wind threat here too, a little 5% chance out here. But the more west you go, I'll go ahead and bring this over here to you guys again. So basically that's for this region here in that 2% zone. But the more west you go in northwest, that's where the tornado threat really starts to pick up here. Right now, the main concern area is Alabama, basically. For like a lot of southern Alabama, that's kind of where the main risk is. Although, there still could be some tornadic activity, perhaps even towards Florida. It is, can't be ruled out. I mean, you guys are in that active threat. But, the main area we're going to be looking out for a little bit is going to be Alabama mostly southern Alabama. And then, of course, later today, as we, continue to advance down in time, the threat will continue for areas along like southern Georgia as well as northern Florida and whatnot here. So that'll continue on later today. Actually, I can pull that up for you real quickly. So yeah, this is the later outlook for later today. Today just started, of course. This is later today. It's not valid now because you can see the storms right now are outside of the region. The valid outlook is the one we just looked at, which is this one here. So this is still valid. The enhanced risk. But yeah, later today, we do have like southern Georgia, and like I mentioned, pretty much northern Florida towards the Panhandle, towards the Big Bend region, where, a little bit of severe weather, is possible. Some remaining tornadic activity cannot be ruled out. Like we mentioned, we still have that 2% chance later today. Damaging winds got a 5% chance, and thankfully no hail, really. I mean, we could see small bits of hail, but nothing going to be anything, significant or anything like that. So we'll be good. Really the thing we got to look out for, though, is just, a little bit of gusty winds here and there, perhaps up to like 60 miles an hour in terms of maximum wind gusts. And, that potential for maybe a tornado or two later today. But like I mentioned, that's later today. Right now the threat is much higher. Okay. So that's what we're paying attention to. Anyways, let's do a little bit of an update here on the current weather world. So we do have an active warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Who told me how to say this earlier? Opelika is what Teresa says. Okay, is it Opelika? I can kind of see Leica. Who else? Somebody else said it was something else. What was it? Opelika. Okay, is it Opelika or Opelika? I'm going to call it probably Opelika, if I can remember that. Anyways, yeah, you guys are in a warning. Currently severe thunderstorm warning here in effect. Did they remove that tornado possible tag? Looks like they did. That's good news, actually. But we are basically looking out there for the possibility for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Some gusty winds on that storm out there by Opelika. Let's see here. Beans Mill. Pretty interesting name. We got Pine Grove. Let's see here. Tillery Crossroad. Let's see. Powledge. Shotwell, Salem, Spring Villa, 5 Points, what? How do you say that one? Chewaclaw? I'm sorry, I have no idea how you say that one. Bent Creek and Indian Hills, you guys are in that warning there too. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and potentially some small hail on that, nothing big, up to penny size. Of course, that is not a problem. Penny size hail is really not a problem at all. All right, let's see here. No Name says, thanks, Ben. I get more information from you than any other channel. I appreciate what you do very much. Thank you, No Name. I appreciate that, man. Good to have you here. Teresa says, thank you. You're very welcome. Of course. No problem, y'all. Ace says, how bad is Saturday going to be? So yeah, Saturday is going to be another day we do need to look out for. We do have a 30% risk here from SPC, which, real quickly I'll show you, but like I mentioned, we're going to mostly focus on the event today. But yeah, definitely Saturday is another day we really need to look out for. The main concern here is going to be the areas in orange. Of course, even the yellow here is still an active severe weather risk area here, which, yeah, a lot of the south is going to be at risk on Saturday for severe weather, as we're going to have another setup, rolling through the region here, which, could drive some more unwanted severe weather, unfortunately. But yeah, Saturday's another day we're going to definitely need to be weather aware and, obviously active for. I do plan on doing coverage, probably late coverage if it's needed. I typically like to do later coverage, nighttime, overnight coverages and stuff like that because, everybody streams during the main event, but the events, in some cases like this one, continue overnight, and not everybody can stream that long, right? So that's my job. That's where I come in. That's where I basically pick up the night shift and do a little bit of coverage at nighttime, which like I said, a night like tonight is needed, because of that continuation of the tornado threat, the winds and the hail and whatnot. But anyways. But yeah, Saturday, definitely a day we do need to look out there for. Let's see here. 850 says, hopefully everything could weaken before reaching Lynn Haven, Panama City area. So you guys, yeah, so the threat is much lower for you folks out here. Let's hop back to the valid outlook here. So obviously, yeah, you being out there by like Panama City area. So while the threat is lower, it's still not none. You can see Panama City, Florida here indicated in the marginal risk here from SPC. So you are in at level 1 threat, which still does indicate a 2% chance for tornadoes. Once again, it's very, very unlikely, that you'll get a tornado. But, given the conditions, it still can't be ruled out for an isolated tornado. In terms of damaging winds, though, 5% chance out there. Once again, very low, very, very low shot, but we can't rule it out, cannot rule it out completely. We could see some gusts, perhaps in the range of 60, miles an hour or so at maximum wind gusts, is possible. But, of course, I can't get over how small that little 5% risk is. Pretty small. Honestly, I think that threat is pretty much over with. Teresa says, bingo, that's it. What was it? The one I said, was it Opelika? Gotcha. I'll have to remember that one. Speaking of Opelika, still got that warning in effect. We still got a while, too. About 36 minutes on that storm. Let's see how it's doing. Let's look at velocity. Definitely looks like those velocities are still pretty high on that storm there. I would not be surprised if they do extend this, perhaps maybe into Georgia. Folks out there by Hamilton, Georgia, Waverly Hall, y'all might need to watch out for this one. I mean, it could pose a wind threat for you, considering it is heading in your general direction. Right now, you're not under any warning per se for like Pine Mountain or Hamilton, but since that storm is rolling to the region, and it still looks pretty strong on radar, both velocity and reflectivity. It looks like it's still a solid structure. It could pose a threat at some point in terms of like gusty winds and whatnot. So I would still keep an eye on that one. I would. Another thing we got to look out for really closely, actually, is going to be, this main line of storms. It might not look like much right now. Thankfully, it's calm down a little bit. But like we mentioned, the threat's not over, and that's going to continue for still another several hours. We got to watch out for these quick spin ups, man. They can happen in the blink of an eye. And so this line right now, while it's not doing anything, I hope it's done. Yeah, I really hope the event's done. Which, like I mentioned, though, we still do have another couple of hours, for the tornado threat and whatnot. So we'll look out for that. Let's see here. Alrighty. They're all Indian names? Gotcha. Yeah, see, I'm just not really good with names here. I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of places I'm not good with names. So, you gotta kind of roll with me. The good news is that you guys can see what we're looking at here too, so it kind of helps just a little bit. All right, let's actually hop to the current radar. This is the national radar currently, so you can see we have a lot of precipitation and whatnot rolling through the Mid-Atlantic, portions of the Ohio Valley and whatnot, and of course this long streak of thunderstorm activity across the south. Folks out there actually towards like Georgia and whatnot, flooding is a big problem today. There is a pretty big flooding threat out there today. So That's kind of been another issue that we've been kind of facing here is, not only, tornadic activity, not only, damaging wind activity, not only hail, but also flooding. Flooding's actually been a pretty big concern today as well, and still does linger. Still does linger. I mean, several inches of rain has fallen across, like Alabama, Georgia. Let's go ahead and look at the radar. So this is storm total precipitation. You don't take this too serious because it's a radar estimate, but you can see though out by Huntsville, 3 inches or so has really. 3-4 inches or so. That's a really good amount of rainfall. Of course, we do have some heavier streaks here and there because, some of those storms with higher precipitation rates roll through, driving more rain than others, of course. And you can actually see, though, just outside of Atlanta, to the west of Atlanta here, we have this long streak with a flash flood warning in effect here. Flash flood threat observed, damage threat considerable. Expect rainfall, let's see here, 1 to 1.5 inches in 1 hour. Emergency management reported flash flooding of roads and water rescue in Polk County. This isn't Florida. I'm sorry. I live in Polk County, Florida. That's weird. I didn't know it was a Polk County, Georgia. Anyways, between 2 and 3 inches of rain has fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches possible. So that would be a total of, 3 to 5 inches? That's a lot of rain. It's a lot of rain, especially lower lying areas here. It's a big problem. Anyways, so that is another thing we got to really look out there for. Like I mentioned, is the flooding threat. Not just like the tornado threat that we have and all of that mess, but also got to look out there for flooding too. We do have a lot of flash flood warnings in effect here for central Alabama. Let's see, south of Birmingham, towards like the Valley Grande, towards Selma, reporting 4-5 inches or so, estimated from radar. Once again, that's a pretty solid amount of rainfall that some of these regions have seen. Montgomery area here, a couple of inches from what it looks like, but once again, flooding is another one of those really big issues that we do need to look out there for. Due to all of these heavy rainfall rates and whatnot. It's definitely been pretty active. Let's see here. Blood says, I love studying weather like yourself. I appreciate you. You can say the names any way you want. I try to, like I mentioned, I try to get them right, but, not all the time does that fall. It's never... there is a couple times where I never get them right, but you know what? That's all right. Good news. They did just cancel that severe warning, guys, for Opelika, right? Is that how you say it? Opelika, Salem, and Bleecker. Y'all are now out of the warning. That is no longer severe warning, which, you know what that means, y'all? That's some good news. That means that all we have is flash flood warnings in effect here. We still have that tornado watch, which once again, we still have a couple of hours left on that tornado watch here, which it does expire, I believe, what did it say, 4 a.m. Eastern, so 3 a.m. Central. So we still have 2 hours. 2 hours left. So we got a little bit longer. Like we mentioned, yes, it is still going to be possible to have a couple tornadoes overnight. And overnight tornadoes is the most dangerous time for tornadoes, of course, because, at this point, everybody's going to bed and everything. That's why, I can never stress enough that you guys out there, have ways to receive warnings. I mean, I know a lot of smartphones now, like Apple and, Android and whatnot, have those automated alerts. You can turn them on and off. I would recommend you keep them on. That way if you do get a warning, it'll wake you up. Weather radios, another great way of receiving warnings and whatnot. Highly recommend it. Who knows? It could be life-saving someday. So keep that in mind. So here's a current look at the lower-level water vapor scan here on the satellite imagery. So you can see, this was all that moisture advection. This was all of that warm air, all that, moisture-filled air working its way up to the north. At this point in time, we are starting to get that cooler air, pulling down into the country here as we do have high pressure that's building in on the backside. So this low is, working its way up here to the northeast here. The event's mostly through. We're still not completely out of it yet, but it's mostly through. But yeah, you can see this long line of, convection and whatnot that's kicking off across some of these regions here, with all of that heavy thunderstorm activity and everything like that that's going on down here. So this is a quick little look at the water vapor scan. You can see ahead of the cold front and whatnot, a bit of drier air over Florida. That's really no new news, essentially. It's been pretty dry down here for a while. Anyways, but yeah, so you can see there, that is the main line of convection and whatnot. Let's see, we could look at long wave IR. Once again, just really kind of showing you those tops, those thunderstorm tops and whatnot. That's where convection's popping off. And, like I mentioned in the past, guys, the good news about this, this type of setup and whatnot, these long lines of storms, most of the time, they are a one and done type of system, meaning you generally get, the line of storms that hits, and then once it passes, things do get better. So once you're on the backside, of this line, that's when the stable air starts to build in, cooler, more stable air, and your risk for severe weather dramatically drops. So that's good. So basically, once that line of storms passes your area, guys, your threat's pretty much done. But you got to remember, ahead of the cold front, which we have seen today, we've had numerous tornadoes reported, ahead of the cold front on some of those semi-discrete thunderstorms that we had. Sometimes that is a problem, like it was today, where you can have some storms that fire off ahead, which could pose a threat as well. But looking at the radar now, in terms of everything, it honestly doesn't look like there's many prefrontal storms, storms ahead of the main line. This is the main line here, like it was earlier. So that has dropped, thankfully. That's good. But, like I mentioned, it still does not fully remove our tornado threat because we still do have that active threat. But, we're getting closer. We are getting closer. Let's see, Devin says, how do I think Saturday might be? It looks pretty nasty. We're going to definitely need to be weather aware on Saturday as well, like I mentioned beforehand. Well, you know what? What I'm going to do, since there is no active warnings, since those have finally gotten canceled, I will do a quick little look. We're going to take a quick little peek here at the models real quickly. I'm curious to look at, so we're going to take a moment to actually look at Saturday's risk here. I know I said let's focus on this one, but, since there is no active warnings, nothing we need to really be paying fully attention to right now. So here's the GFS. This is the long-range American model. We're going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Anyways, so this is the GFS. One thing I will point out, though, is the long-range GFS here, at least with instability, tends to underestimate the amount of instability or fuel that there potentially could be in the atmosphere. I've noticed that. NAM might even be a model to look at now. So yeah, look at that. So here we go. NAM, honestly, is really not that far from GFS. Not really playing a good example for me right now. But honestly, though, yeah, when it comes to instability, there will be enough fuel for storms. We're talking upwards 500 to possibly 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability here across the south. The main concern is going to be how strong those lower level winds are going to be. If you do or don't know, wind shear is what we're looking at. Basically, just winds at a certain level of the atmosphere is very, very important for tornadic activity. And these lower level winds here come later Saturday. Is going to be quite strong. We're talking like 45, 50, maybe even 60 knots of lower level winds. This is about 4,000 feet up. Lower level wind components like this are very necessary and very, very crucial to the development of tornadoes. With that strong lower level jet in place, also our mid-level jet stream as well is, slightly altered more to the northeast. But yeah, given the wind shear, I mean, strong winds in the atmosphere, instability present under all of that wind shear. And then lastly, one of the main things is moisture advection. You can see those dew points here in the, kind of the mid lower, not 30s, mid lower 60s. That is a good enough amount of moisture to get, those thunderstorms going and whatnot. Especially if you look at those temperatures, the dew point depression is pretty low. What the dew point depression is basically your gap between your dew point temperature and your temperature. So basically, the gap's not that far. I mean, 70, let's say, upper 60s, lower 70s temperatures, while dew points are kind of in the lower to mid 60s. So, yeah, dew point depression is not super, large. I know I'm probably confusing a lot of you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of... It's how my brain works, man. But anyways, yes, there will be enough moisture. The winds will be very, very strong and, in the atmosphere, and there will be enough instability for Saturday to create some more severe weather, unfortunately. Let's see here. Blood says, I'm worried about Dothan, Alabama tonight. Okay, so yeah, Dothan area, yes, you guys are in the active risk. As of now, though, you're not in any tornado watch or anything like that. We still have this tornado watch. We have about, another 2 hours or so left on this watch here till it gets expired. With that being said, though, you are actively in that risk still. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and we're going to bring this over here to you guys. So, so Dothan, how far southeast is that? So that's like right on the edge of the slight risk there. Anyway, so yeah, Dothan, is it Dothan? Dothan, I guess. Slight risk here. So level 2 threat, 5% tornado risk, 15 wind threat. Hail threat's pretty much done with, honestly. But anyways, so, we cannot rule out an isolated tornado, in the region. Once again, it's very unlikely that you'll see a tornado, but, it's still not zero, and it definitely cannot be ruled out. It is possible that we could get tornadoes nearby, yes. So look out for that, and of course, that little wind threat there too, capable of, some wind gusts between 60 and maybe 70 miles an hour overall. Is possible. Another thing I want to look at real quickly, guys, is Mesoanalysis. This is basically current conditions in the atmosphere. So as of now, obviously we have that ridge building in on the backside, that cooler air advancing south into the deeper part of the country. We got that northerly air advection, all that moisture pulling up from the Gulf, working its way into the south. So one thing I want to look at here, so there's that main line. There's your reflectivity radar overlapping the map here. We take a look at the lower level winds. Look at that, 40s, 50 knots or so, northeasterlies. That is pretty strong winds. Like I said, which certainly could pose tornadic concern. It's not the only thing that contributes to it, but it is a very important step to do that. 40, 50 knots, yeah, good enough. Mid-level winds here. See, there's a slight alter in wind direction with altitude. For example, so that we have our lower level winds we were just looking at. Let me bring up my pen here so I can kind of show you guys a little bit better, kind of, in the wind direction field and stuff. So let me bring this up. So our lower level winds here are moving their way, basically in that direction, right? So to the northeast here, coming from the southwest, working to the northeast. And as we go up in altitude, as we're gaining, several thousand feet, the wind direction, while not super, super different, you can see that it is a little bit more here to the northeast. So that little change in wind direction, with altitude is we call veering winds. The winds are changing direction with altitude. And in this case, they are also picking up speed as well with altitude. So the winds are increasing as we go up in the atmosphere. So with that being said, we have that veering component, which, leads to pretty good helicity, potential for like rotating updrafts and whatnot. So wind shear is not a problem. Looking over here at the current instability in the atmosphere, dude, honestly, we're still talking over 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability, which that's, well, more than enough. That's needed. Look at that, 1,100 there. So there's a lot of fuel in the atmosphere. There's a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere. Overall, what it comes down to is, yeah, the conditions still do look, potentially problematic. So we're going to really need to look out there for that. Anyways, the good news. On to the good news. As of now, knock on wood, not trying to jinx anything here, but we do not have any active warnings. So as of now, we're good. Let's do a quick little velocity check, though. I do want to take a look at that. Let's see what we got going on here. So, Union Springs, we need to watch this little area here. Sometimes these little, these little areas here, how we kind of have, the wind's trying to, from what it looks like, it looks like it is trying to rotate here. Where's the radar in this case? Okay, this is southeast. Gotcha. So in this case, it does look like there is a little bit. Let me redraw that. It does look like that there is maybe a little bit of rotation that's trying to pick up towards Union Springs. Very broad, not an issue right now, really. But I do want to keep an eye on that because sometimes you can get spin up tornadoes pretty quickly out of it. Not saying there will be, of course, but it's good to be precautious. Keep an eye on it. Let's see what's going on here. Top to Florida radar. Let's look right back at the reflectivity here real quickly. There we go. So there's reflectivity. Yeah, so we'll, once again, couple spin-ups definitely will not be ruled out tonight. So we do need to be still actively watching. But right now, we're vibing. We're good for now. Kelly says, as for Saturday, I'm worried about the deep south, Mississippi, city of, I don't even know how you say that. So Kelly, yeah, so Mississippi is going to be one of those areas we do need to be absolutely weather aware for, to come Saturday. However, I want you to say, I want you to know, there is the odds of you getting severe weather. While the risk that we have is a 30% chance, which is still a decent risk. The odds are, because not everybody's going to see severe weather in the risk area. So I want you to keep that in mind. But I want you to also know, while it is unlikely that you will directly be involved with nasty, nasty weather, like damaging storms, while it's, more likely that you probably wouldn't than you would, that risk for those damaging storms still persists in the area, in which, the threat level is pretty high. So what I'm trying to do is trying to tell you not to worry about it. Don't freak yourself. This goes really for everybody. Don't freak yourself. Don't freak yourself out over all this, but don't ignore it either. That's where I'm trying to get to. Don't freak yourself out over the weather because the odds are you'll most likely be fine. But there is still that threat, and there is still that danger where there still could be some activity. So I'm just trying to get you guys not worried, but also not caring. Does that make sense? So it's a balance. Absolutely, you need to take it serious, and you do need to watch out for it. But you don't need to freak out over it. You don't need to panic over it. Let's see here. Kelly says, I'm on the first floor of a 2-story building. So that should be a little encouraging. First floor. Yeah, that is better. So obviously the saying is, to go to the central interior portion of the lowest floor of a sturdy building. So yeah, you being on the first floor is definitely an advantage, for sure. Obviously, people who have basements and storm cellars, that's first option, of course. But in a case like you, first floor, 2-story building, yeah, that would, you'd be better off for sure. Now, for the people that live in like mobile homes and whatnot, you cannot ride it out in those mobile homes. That's part of the game plan, guys. You gotta have a game plan. You gotta have a plan in place. Say stuff does hit the fan, say stuff does get pretty bad out, and you do get warnings and stuff like that, make sure you know where to go. And this is stuff you got to think about before the storms hit, okay? This is stuff that you got to think about, whenever we say, hey, there's a severe weather risk for this area. This is stuff you got to think about. Where would you go if you're in that situation? Once again, if you have a basement storm cellar, that's where you obviously want to go. But for the people, like I said, mobile homes, you guys got to think about going to find a sturdier structure, maybe a neighbor's house, with a basement or whatever, or just a more structurally integrated home or building is what you would want to go for, not trailers. Basically, bottom line is, don't stay in any trailers or mobile homes. It's just something you can't do. Let's see. Kelly says, thank you. I appreciate your knowledge and expertise. No problem. Yeah, you're very, very welcome. And, that's the whole point of this channel, guys, just to keep you guys weather aware, keep y'all weather prepared, So we're going to be keeping an eye on these storms for a little bit longer tonight. Just making sure they're not pulling any fast ones on us. Obviously, we did have a pretty active day today, actually, from what I was looking at. We did have several confirmed tornadoes today. From what I saw, I did see. So we did a little bit of coverage earlier, as you guys may or may not have been here. This was also at the time when everybody was streaming too. That's why I wanted to pick up on night shift a little bit. So, the thing is, we did have. I remember we had one PDS tornado warning that we covered. I think it was in Western Alabama. We covered earlier. Then when I was off, there was actually another tornado I heard about that went PDS as well. 2 large confirmed tornadoes. And plus, earlier when we were streaming as well, there was another tornado that they said tornado possible, but the radar overlap of velocity plus the damage reported matched up perfectly, timestamp and everything. So that was likely another tornado we dealt with earlier. Anyways, but like we mentioned, the threat still lingers. It still continues for the next couple of hours, and that's why we're here. Let's see here. Dan says, my power is out in Opelika. Is that how you say it? Opelika? Alabama, still storming, not as windy. Dan, honestly, man, you're kind of in the worst of it now. You can actually see here how, here's the reflectivity. Not everybody knows how to read radar, so basically what this is representing is pretty much the rainfall rates. So basically the green here is indicating lighter rain, the yellow kind of moderate rain, the orange heavy rain, and, the red very heavy rain. So, yeah, Dan, you are still kind of in, the heavy part of it, as you can see. The good news is that once this rolls through, your threat for severe weather is pretty much gone. Because we do have stable air, more stable air that starts to build its way back into the country, into your region, high pressure building in on the backside, driving cooler air, stabilizing the atmosphere, and removing its severe weather potential. So once you're done with this, man, honestly, think you're good. But then, of course, we have another risk on Saturday that we need to look out there for, Dan. So keep an eye out there for that too. But yeah, really the main areas that we need to look out for tonight is going to be the remaining of southeastern Alabama, bits of Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle. It's really this region here that we need to still be weather aware and actively watching. But Dan, honestly, I hope you get your power back soon. Yeah, some of these storms are not a joke, and they can knock out power for sure. Kim says, I live in a camper. Gotcha. So, Kim, in a situation like yours, like we mentioned, nowhere to go, okay? So say you are in the risk area, Kim. If a tornado warning or something like that gets issued, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Find a sturdier structure, a house, a building, something better overall to get into. Because like we mentioned, campers is not a safe spot to be in. So keep that in mind. And that really goes to everybody who's in mobile homes and whatnot. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and do a quick little velocity check here. Let's take a look and see what we got going on. So we're going to start off down in towards the Gulf here. Looking up here through Florida. Don't see much of anything really concerning. We do got to watch out for, little pop-ups here and there. That's going to be a concern here overall. Let's see here. Renita, thank you so much for the 5. Is that how you say your name? I'm sorry if that's not how you say your name. Renita, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Saying, I can't sleep. Is Macon, Georgia going to be bad? I already have a tree fell on my house over my bed before. Jeez. First of all, Renita, thank you for the 5. I appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. So for Macon, is it Macon? Where's Macon? I'm always doing this, man. I'm always doing this. Let me pull up Macon. Oh, I'm looking at Alabama. It's late. Y'all, please, please pardon me. I don't know what's going on, man. Anyways, so Macon, tonight, yeah, you're good. Honestly, you can go to bed and whatnot. The threat later on today, I believe, is just south of Macon, which this is, yeah. So this is the threat that will continue on later today. For Macon, we're good. We're not in any active crazy threats or anything like that. A lot of the activity is going to be to your southwest for more areas like southwestern Georgia, in areas like southeastern Alabama, portions of like northern Florida, towards the Panhandle and whatnot. But yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Renita, once again, first of all, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it very, very much. So thank you for that. And also, I'm glad you're okay with what happened with that tree. That's crazy. That is really crazy. I'm glad you're okay. And but yeah, to answer your question, I think you're good. I think you are good. Like we mentioned, the main area that we're still watching tonight is like southeastern Alabama and whatnot, and like southwestern Georgia, and like I said, a little bit of the Panhandle here of Florida. Once again, these are the main areas that we still need to be, looking at overnight. Overall. And like I said, we do have this tornado watch in effect for Alabama, for southeastern Alabama, which we have, let's see, about an hour and a half or so. Yeah, we still got about an hour and a half or so. This will expire at 3 Central, so 3 local time to the warning, to the watch. And this will be for 4 o'clock for us folks in the Eastern time zone. Let's see here. Thanks so much. I was so worried. You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Renito, once again, thank you for the support. It means a lot to me. Greatly appreciated. But yeah, like I said, you're pretty good. I think we're doing good out there. So guys, later on today, like we mentioned, as this cold front, continues to roll through, we are going to have, another risk here, for severe weather for like southern Georgia and like we mentioned for the Panhandle here of Florida, towards the Big Bend region, which that does include later today. This is not the valid outlook right now, but this is later today's outlook. Later today's outlook, 2% chance for tornadoes. We still cannot rule out a tornado or two across these regions here. A couple of tornadoes still is possible. Damaging winds here, 5% chance here for winds. And like I said, the hail threat later today is gone. So the hail threat's not going to really be a problem. It's just, a tornado or two and maybe some gusty winds here and there, essentially. But like we mentioned, the current valid outlook here, we still do have that enhanced and that slight risk here in effect. Because right now, if we look at the radar, we currently look at this real quickly. So if we do take a look at the current radar here, you can see that, southeastern Alabama, that's where the line of storms is, just, slightly south of Montgomery. We take a look at the active risk, the valid outlook. You can see the line of storms is like right in here on the edge of the enhanced risk and towards that slight risk. So we're kind of pulling out of the level 3, I'd say, right about now. But yeah, the valid outlook, we still have that slight risk, which, still is a 5% chance for tornadoes and stuff. 5% chance here, 15% chance here for damaging wind gusts, between 60, maybe upwards of 70 miles an hour at worst case scenario there. And in the hail threats, considering the fact that the line of storms is, already through that risk area, like I mentioned before, on the back side of the cold front, on the back side of the line of storms here, that's where the stable air and cooler air starts building in, and basically where everything calms down, which is good. So we have the cooler air pulling down, and of course we do have that warmer air that's still creeping its way up ahead of the cold front. That's why it's so warm ahead, and then that's why it cools down on the backside. Anyways, so that's just a quick little look at the current outlook. What's up, Moon River? Hope you're doing good. Let's go ahead and turn this off real quickly. Saying good evening. I can't even English. Good evening, Andrew. Let's see. Okay, I will go to bed and wait for you. What? I'll go to bed and wait for you is okay up here in Northwest Georgia. Thank you. Yeah, so Northwest Georgia is good. Meant to say stayed up for your updowns. I was like, what? Okay. But yeah, you're good. Northwest Georgia's fine. Like we mentioned, the only area that really we got to pay attention to severe weather-wise is southern Georgia. Actually, look at this. So here's our temperatures. Y'all see these little circles here? So these are our, what we call MEDAR. Like I said, these are our MEDAR stations here, just current active. What was that? I heard a noise. Oh my gosh, Renita coming in with another super chat, a $10 super chat. No way. Renita, thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate that, saying you gained a new supporter. Thank you again. Renita, you are very welcome. Thank you so much for your support. That is really, really much appreciated, my friend. Renita, seriously, thank you for your support. It means a lot, and it really helps us out here. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And like I said, if you have any other questions, guys, anybody in the chat here, I'll be more than happy to help you guys. But thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's very, very generous of you. Greatly appreciated. So what I was saying here, though, is look at this. So here's our temperatures, for example, up here in, northern Georgia. If we take a look at it, temperatures are pretty low. I mean, we're talking, mid, lower 40s out by Atlanta and whatnot. So temps are pretty cold out here, Temps are pretty chilly out here. But then you look at southern Georgia. Look how drastically different it is. Temperatures out here in the lower to mid 70s, actually. Mostly lower 70s, but there's a couple that gets, near mid 70s. But yeah, you guys can see just how much that is, dropped off. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So going from 40s to 70s there, what is that, like a 30-degree drop over that distance? Yeah, that's something else. But yeah, so for the northern areas here, yeah, y'all are good. Honestly, things are cooling down too much for any severe weather and everything like that. But, once again, those areas in the south here, where we still have that warm air pulling up, the cooler air on the backside, pushing that cold front basically, or, the cooler air pulling or pushing behind the cold front essentially. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. Once again, the good news, once again, at the moment, there is no active tornado warnings, no active severe thunderstorm warnings. Thankfully, knock on wood, we don't need any more of that. We've already had a lot of that activity earlier today. We don't need any more of that mess, but we'll definitely, still be live for a little bit just to help you guys out. Let's see here. Renita says, you're so welcome. Yeah, once again, Renita, thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Very, very sweet of you. Thank you. Chu says, we had a huge tornado in January 2023 that destroyed everything. Citizens have serious PTSD from the event. Yeah, I'm sure. I can completely understand 100%. And like I mentioned, we're going to be here to help y'all out and hopefully help ease those fears and help keep you guys updated. Like I mentioned right now, while you guys are watching this currently, as of now, there's no active tornado warnings or anything like that. So we're good. But, the threat still lingers. Yes, there is still that threat. And that's why we're still here, of course. But right now, we're good. So everything's okay right now. What about Griffin, Georgia? Let's see. Where is Griffin, Georgia? Griffin, Georgia. This is in... Okay, this is central Georgia. Yeah, you guys are good out here. Y'all are good out here. Actually, something I should have mentioned is folks out in northern Georgia, that's where we're having an issue with all that flooding and whatnot. We are seeing a lot of rain that's fallen through the region, several inches. So you guys are dealing with the flooding. But, yeah, for this region, we're good. We're good. It's just, at this point, a little too cold for all that nasty weather and whatnot. While, yes, you could still get some, booms of thunder here and there. Yes, it is still possible, severe weather-wise. Yeah, you're good. However, south of you, like I said, really far south, Georgia, that's where the threat still lingers a little bit. Let's see here. Renita says, I love how you staying up just to keep us safe. Yeah. I do typically like to do this at nighttime because I figure everybody's streaming during the daytime. And, of course, the event still continues. Mother Nature doesn't care about time. It'll still continue overnight. But, strong passion of weatherman and helping people out has always been my thing. And, whenever I could do this, look at the weather, enjoy tracking the weather, as well as doing that and keeping you guys up to date. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. All right, let's see here. Cody wants me to look at 31539. We'll do that real quickly. What did you say? 315. Oh, 39. This is up in Georgia. Okay, so you can sleep tonight across this region here, yeah. So you're a little farther east. Later today, though, yeah, you are in the level 1 threat for later today's outlook. So this is not the valid outlook. This is not the current outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, but this is later on today. We do have that level 1 threat for your region. There is a 2% chance for tornadoes, which, once again, the odds of you getting a tornado specifically is very, very low. So don't let that worry you. But, still, we cannot rule out an isolated tornado here and there. It can't be ruled out. So keep that in mind, and, it wouldn't hurt to keep an eye on the weather. Watch the radar here and there, keep an eye on it. On top of that, we do have a little bit of a wind threat, too. The possibility for some wind gusts, ranging right up to right around 60 miles an hour or so, So there will be that possibility. We could see up to like 60-mile-an-hour winds and whatnot. Then lastly, we do have we do not have a hail threat. That's what I was going to get to. Yeah. Thankfully, the hail threat's gone. There really wasn't much of a hail threat with this event, but, whatever hail threat we had is no longer going to be a problem later today. So really just the main thing we got to look out for is just a little bit of gusty winds and, like we mentioned, an isolated tornado or two nearby cannot be ruled out, which, once again, the odds of you getting that later today is very low. So don't let that bother you. Choose Happiness says, thank you very, very much. You're very welcome. No problem. All right, Tammy. Let's see here. What about Villa Risa, Georgia? This is 30180. Gotcha. 30180. Alrighty. So this is... Okay, so yeah, you guys... You're good. I'm just going to say it right off the bat. You're good. The thing is, though, is that we are kind of on the edge or the end of, that precipitation and whatnot. Honestly, you're good. Yeah, there's really not a problem for you anymore. Just slightly north of you, though, we have that big flooding concern that's going on there. You guys did get a lot of rain out there. Slightly north of you got, I think what was it, like 4 inches or so? Let's see here. Total precip. Yeah, like 4 upwards of 5 inches or so estimated by radar out there. Just slightly north of your region. Y'all saw a lot of rain today, so flooding's still going to be a concern for, regions out by you. But, severe weather, tornadic activity, and stuff like that, no, you're good. You're good. You don't got to worry about that. How cold is it going to get in central Texas? I haven't looked, but I guess we could take a peek here. Let's say we'll use, let's use HRRR. Where is the, there we go. I was going to say, where's that south view here? All right, let's pull this up. So we got thermodynamics. Here we go. Shaded temperatures. Ooh, buddy. So yeah, like we mentioned, we do have that high pressure air mass building in across the central country, driving down a lot of that cold air and whatnot. Tomorrow morning, or literally I should say this morning, right around 8 a.m. or so. Depends on what part of Texas you're in, but you can see, wow, Panhandle, Texas, getting in possibly the single digits out there. Freezing point goes past Dallas, doesn't quite reach Houston. I think that goes down towards like San Antonio as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right there towards like San Antonio is pretty much where that cutoff point for the freezing line is tonight. Definitely going to be very cold this morning. So, yeah, keep that in mind. The more north you go, basically, in Texas, the more colder it's going to be. But, yeah, it's going to be a cold one because of all that cold air that's, shooting down from up north right now. It's, yeah, pretty cold stuff. Pretty cold stuff. All right, let's see here. Moon River says, yep, and lots of rain. Yeah, there was a lot of rain today. There really was. Like we mentioned, we saw about 4 or 5 inches locally higher in some of those regions out there throughout Alabama and Georgia. You guys really got it. So, once again, to those flood-prone areas, please just be careful. Please be careful with all that water. It's definitely problematic regarding flooding. I mean, right now, you guys can see these little green polygons. These are all flash flood warnings here. So, for example, west of Atlanta, we have this one area here towards, like, Cedartown. Let's see here, Chartersville. We did have a lot of flooding and stuff like that come through. Let's see here. Tammy says, awesome, thank you. You're welcome. No problem. Kim, let's see, 76661. This is in Texas. Okay. All right, so yeah, up where you're at, you're going to get in the freezing point. You're going to be getting below freezing out there. It's not going to be like, what was that, the single digits and whatnot up in the panhandle. It's going to get cold out there, but no, you're going to be probably more in like the upper 20s, lower 30s overall. All right, let's do a little bit of a velocity check, y'all. If you don't know what a velocity check is, it's basically where I look for rotation just to make sure atmosphere ain't doing nothing funky. We don't want no funky stuff happening on the radar here. Okay, so let's just start up here in Florida real quickly. Pensacola area looks pretty clear. We do got some storms rolling through. No more than basic thunderstorms and thunder showers, which is good. I mean, the threat still remains out there, so remember that, but as of now, doesn't look like anything problematic. I mean, yeah, we got to look out for like little spin up potentials. I mean, not saying that that's really going to be anything right there, but some things pop up quick. And we got to be on the lookout closely. Of course, we got the weather service too that's doing that, and is constantly monitoring the storms, and issuing those warnings. And once we collect those warnings, we'll give you the information. But right now, we're chilling. Let's change radars. We're getting a little bit out of our zone here. Let's go to Dothan radar. So if we take a look at this, things look mostly chill. I'm happy to say that. Right now, things look mostly chill. Knock on wood. We don't want to jinx nothing, like we mentioned before. There's been so many times where I say that and then things start happening again, which we don't want that. Honestly, I think that might be just some clutter there. Yeah, I don't think that's might be. Yeah, I don't think that's anything there. I think we're good. I think we're chilling. I think we're chilling right now. So we'll keep on doing these velocity checks here and there just to make sure, once again, atmosphere ain't doing nothing funky. And also, so the watch that we have here, guys, the tornado watch, we have another 80 minutes, so about an hour and 20 minutes left. An hour and 20 is all we got left on that watch, which that'll expire. I'm going to try to stay, I don't know, it's getting really late. I do need to go to bed at some point. But I'm going to try to stay up a while longer. I don't know if I'll make it to the end of the watch or, per se, but we're going to be live here for as long as I can, basically. I mean, it's already 3 a.m. I'm getting a little sleepy. I got to think about heading off here soon. But let's just hope that nature just doesn't do any more of what it did earlier. But we're good so far. All right, so let's go ahead and hop our way over here. Actually, something I do want to look at here is up to the north. So actually, we have a little bit of a wintry weather concern still going on. Let's go ahead and bring up our winter weather radar here. So we have a little bit of ice storm warnings for some of those areas up in the eastern mountains of West Virginia, and some of like the Blue Ridge Mountains and whatnot up here in Virginia. Ice storm warnings, expecting a lot of heavy ice, keeping out there for that. So yeah, not only is severe weather concern happening right now, but also we have the winter aspect of things as well. There is still a lot of impacts with that going on here at the moment as well. Up north, you guys can see. I mean, we have a lot of winter weather advisories here for a lot of the folks out here towards Pennsylvania, New York, and of course a lot of coastal New England and whatnot. Got some more advisories and whatnot through the Ohio Valley. Getting a little bit of winter weather out here as well. Now the West, that is something I do want to actually mention though, is the West is getting slammed by a lot of winter weather and whatnot. Those upper elevations in California getting a lot. They've actually been dealing with a lot of precipitation. Which I'll go ahead and bring up the current radar for you guys, the nation radar. Let's go and do that real quick. So if we look at it, you can see all of that precipitation here in California. They're getting a lot of rain. Actually, it's good that they're getting rain. They've been dry for a little bit. But with that being said, though, there's actually a pretty... let's see here. We're going to actually look at this real quick. There's actually a pretty nasty flooding threat that we do have, I believe, for tomorrow. Yeah, so this is for day 2. Out there by like Los Angeles and whatnot, we have a level 3 out of 4 flooding threat towards like LA and whatnot. So obviously those are the regions, they just recently, within the last month, got all those fires and whatnot. And now they're going to be dealing with potential flooding and whatnot as well for like tomorrow. As all that precipitation rolls through, it's going to be a bit of a concern there. Once again, upper elevations there. A lot of winter storm warnings and advisories for a lot of you folks. Really ranges, different elevations and whatnot. But yeah, just wanted to pan over there real quickly, because they have a bit of a flooding concern as well. And then, like I mentioned, today's flooding threat here is still living that slight risk that we do have here overall. Still, flooding threat continues in the southeast here, as we have been seeing a lot of rain. For most of it's fallen for a lot of you folks, but we are still actively seeing a lot of that rain and whatnot still going on. Let's see here. What's up, Overbuilt? Hope you're doing good. Kelly says you're helping us stay calm. That goes a long way. Thank you. You're very welcome, Kelly. No problem. Let's see here. Thank you for hopping over to the West Coast. You're very welcome. Yeah, I've been trying to do that more. I've been trying to do that more often. I've always caught myself mostly focusing on the East, but y'all out West need it too. But really out West, all you guys got going on out there is that winter weather and whatnot, and all that flooding potential. Yeah, the East, right now the Southeast is also kind of one of our main concern areas here. This severe weather event's almost done, but then, of course, Saturday we got another day worth of severe weather and whatnot. See, we're in it for tomorrow. Yeah, K-Jack, you definitely could get a lot of flooding out there, so be careful, especially, once again, to the folks out by, like, L.A. and whatnot. If y'all are prone to flooding, please be careful. What do I think about this Saturday? Sorry if I've already talked about this. Yeah, so Kay, we already did go over it a little bit. What we came to a conclusion is, instability there potentially is not going to be as much as there was for this event. Wind shear, though, quite strong. So our winds in the atmosphere very, very strong. Overall recap of what we pretty much talked about is, yes, there's enough moisture, there's enough instability, and enough wind shear to allow for, I think, potentially all hazards of severe weather coming up for Saturday. I think Saturday will be another active day for severe weather, and unfortunately, I do think it will be, potential for some tornadic activity as well. So Saturday is another day we got to really look out for. But we'll continue to keep you guys updated. We'll do update live streams and videos and whatnot until we get to the event, and of course we'll cover it. Let's see here. Sandra says, thank you so much for watching out for all. You guys are very welcome. No problem. I'm glad to be here for you guys. Glad to help y'all out. Like I said, it's always been my thing. I've always loved tracking weather and whatnot, and I've done it for over 10 years at this point. I've done it for ages. Between that and just helping you guys out with everything, I figured could use my knowledge for some good and helping you guys out, essentially. So that's what we're here for. We'll let you guys know if any hazards pop up. Let's see here. I'll be staying home and monitoring things tomorrow. Sounds good, man. So, yeah, be careful for sure. Yeah, flooding's, going to be no joke out there tomorrow, out there in the west. It's going to be pretty heavy, as we do get that, that shot of a lot of moisture rolling through. Cases, thanks for answering. No problem. You're very welcome. And actually, real quickly, since there is no active warnings, knock on wood, as of right now, here is the active threat for Saturday. So as of right now, we do have this 30% chance for portions of Louisiana, southeastern Arkansas, portions of Mississippi, Alabama, 30% chance. So that's, as of now, that's the maximum that they can actually issue for this point being. We'll see how far this ends up going. But for Saturday, we do have a 30% chance, which is, once again, the maximum they can do right now. And also a pretty big 15% chance. Pretty much the same areas, that saw severe weather today is pretty much where we're going to be, here for Saturday as well. Once again, main threat's going to be obviously in the orange there, but, the yellow is still a pretty decent threat. So basically, this is equivalent to a slight risk. So for the people who don't know, this is from the Storm Prediction Center, which is, based off the National Weather Service here in Norman, Oklahoma. So Storm Prediction Center mostly focuses on, thunderstorms and whatnot. And they have a risk level, okay? And this level goes from 1 to 5. The higher the number, the more likelihood of severe weather and the more potent the severe weather could be. So to put this in perspective, once again, the higher the number, the more potentially severe it is. Now, let me remind you that even a level 1 is still in a severe weather threat. It still is a active threat for potentially damaging storms, even in a level 1. So, even if there's a level 1, you still need to be watching out for it. So the yellow is equivalent to a level 2. And so forth. The orange is equivalent to a level 3. So already for Saturday, we already have what's equivalent to an enhanced risk, like what we had today. Only a little bit larger, of course. So Saturday could be more widespread regarding severe weather, and pretty much similar ideas on what to expect, tornadic-wise and damaging winds and whatnot. I think that's still going to be something we need to look out there for. But yes, so we are already equivalent to a level 3 enhanced risk out there in the orange here for Saturday. So once again, if you guys are in any of these colors here, yellow or orange, you guys are actively in a severe weather risk out there, okay? What's up, Rain? Hope you're doing good. Kelly says that major risk in Mississippi is what's got me a little nervous. And you know what, Kelly? That's to be 100% understandable. I 100% get it. But one thing I do want to tell you, Kelly, is that it is still more likely that you will not see severe weather than you will. Yes, it is a pretty decent risk, and yes, there could be a lot of severe weather in the area. But honestly, it's still more likely that you will not see severe weather than you would. So keep that in mind. I don't want you to, completely just, not be concerned. I mean, yes, it's concerning, and it's something you do need to look out there for. But like we mentioned, it's not something that you really need to freak out over. But yes, it could be something it is something you do need to look out there for. I don't know how to explain it perfectly. Let's see here. Renita, thank you for another 5. Greatly appreciated. That is very, very sweet of you. Renita coming in with another donation, my friend. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Saying you do a great job. I'm going to try and sleep now. Have a good night. Have a good now. I think you meant good night. But see you Saturday. Sounds good, Renita. Thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate that, my friend. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Big shout out goes to Renita for the support. I really, really appreciate it, my friend. Once again, thank you so much. That's greatly appreciated. And honestly, it'll really go a long way in helping us out. Like I mentioned, you folks really do help keep us rolling, and I'm very, very thankful for it. So thank you. Big shout out goes to Renita. Thank you once again for all of your support tonight. And have a great night. Have a great night. I'll see you on Saturday. All right, let's do a velocity check, guys. We're going to take a look here at the velocity. Look out there for just any rotation real quickly. Just do a quick little scan. Make sure there's nothing spooky happening. We don't want anything like that going on. So like I mentioned, yes, the atmosphere is still definitely capable for tornadoes. As of now, there's no active warnings, which is good. Knock on wood. Honestly, velocity looks pretty chill right now. So right now we're just kind of vibing. Like I said, just kind of chilling right now. But yeah, we still have this tornado watch in effect for about another hour. I'm gonna try to stay up as long as I can here, but remember, I'm in Eastern time, and this is 3 a.m. for me, so I do need to get to bed at some point, but I'm going to try to stay up as long as possible. Kelly says, thank you. I'm probably being too paranoid about it. You're good. Kelly, I completely understand. I just wanted to maybe help ease that uncomfort a little bit. Like I said, yeah, it is something you need to look out for and something you need to actively be watching on Saturday, looking at the radar and whatnot. But, once again, it's more likely that you won't get severe weather than you will. Not everybody in the risk area will see severe weather. Not everybody will. So, like I said, it'll be fine. As long as you are prepping and making sure you know where to go in case, warnings and stuff like that do get issued, you have the advantage. You have the upper hand. You do. And obviously, knowing where to go and whatnot if a warning is issued, that's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm glad to see that you're taking it serious. Obviously everybody needs to be, actively watching this, but at the same time, y'all don't need, like I said, I understand. I actually used to have storm anxiety myself growing up. Back before I learned, how to read radar and whatnot. So I completely know what boat you're on, completely know what boat you're on there. But, it'll be okay. We'll get through it. We will get through it. It's just, unfortunately, stuff like this does happen time to time. It happens, especially, here soon. Unfortunately, we are heading closer to storm season here. April, May, and whatnot are usually pretty active months for stuff like this. But anyways, it'll be all right. We'll get through it. Let's see here. Overbuilt says, thanks for what? But you're welcome, I guess. I don't know what for. Let's see here. Renita says, LOL night. Good night. Enjoy your night, my friend. Let's see. STL Rocks says, what is going on? So we are actively just monitoring the weather, keeping an eye on everything. Once again, we still have that active tornado and severe weather threat going on right now. Still some gusty winds and whatnot, and, perhaps still a couple tornadoes cannot be ruled out here. So, we're just kind of watching the weather. We're just kind of keeping an eye on everything right now, making sure that nature behaves itself, essentially. But like I mentioned, right now we're chilling. Right now we got no active tornado warnings, no active severe weather going on at the moment. But, while the threat still exists at the moment, there's no active warnings. So we're just kind of keeping an eye on it and just talking about everything here. All right, let's do a little bit of an update here. I do want to look at Mesoanalysis again. So like we mentioned, this is basically current, atmospheric conditions here. I know a lot of you guys probably, will not, understand all this. I'm not expecting you guys to understand what all this is. But so essentially we do have, like I mentioned, a pretty good amount of instability still in place across places like southern Alabama, across regions out there by like the panhandle of Florida and whatnot, and like southwestern Georgia. So with that being said, the instability is still there. That's basically the fuel for those storms and whatnot overall. So that is what we got there. So there is still a lot of instability in place. Now, whenever it comes to like the lower level winds and whatnot, we do have some pretty strong lower level wind shear, about 40, 50 knots or so, which is pretty strong. So our lower level winds are actually moving pretty fast, which, that does contribute to tornadic activity. It's not the only thing that, causes tornadic activity, of course, but it is one of the ingredients that it, could produce tornadic activity is those strong lower level winds of about 40, 50 knots or so. And one thing I will point out, though, is that these winds are moving, pretty much here to the northeast and in that direction here. And as you go up in altitude, The winds actually, slightly change direction a little bit here. So that veering wind, that change in wind direction and that increase in wind speed as you go up in altitude can create, potential rotating storms and whatnot. So instability's there, wind shear's there, and of course, our dew points and stuff like that currently are in like the 60s and whatnot. Let's see, Bristol, Tennessee. Can I check there? I don't even have to check Bristol, Tennessee, because I know you guys are good. As of now, Tennessee is not under any concern for severe weather or anything like that. So Tennessee is good. Once again, the main areas that we're really looking out for right now is southeastern Alabama, and of course, like I mentioned, bits of southern Georgia and northern Florida. It's really these areas here that we still need to be actively watching and actively weather aware. Most of the other places like Mississippi, Louisiana, you guys are good, because that cooler air has already kind of worked its way in the region here, which has stabilized the atmosphere and basically is preventing any more severe weather from occurring, essentially. So, you guys behind the line are good. It's really the areas that's in the line and ahead of the line that we still need to look out for. How is Tuscaloosa wind? Let's see here. So, you guys... So, Tuscaloosa, I'm going to go ahead and say this. You're good as well. You can see, so here's Tuscaloosa. The line of storms is to your southeast, and this whole line is moving in this direction. It's moving to the east here. So, you're good. No more severe weather or anything like that, at least not until potentially Saturday, which we have that other risk we're looking out there for. So... Your wind, like you were talking about, what we can do is look at the MEDAR data, which is just local weather stations. And it does look like, we are definitely seeing some pretty strong winds, 16 miles an hour, sustained, gusting up to right around 30 miles an hour or so. So, it's definitely a little windy. So those winds that you are feeling are southeasterlies, winds going to the southeast here, which is also, carrying that cooler air over your region here. You might have noticed it cooled down a little bit here, compared to what it was earlier. The cooler air is rolling over, basically because the pressure is increasing. So over here, towards all this mess, the pressure is lower than it is, further to the west. So there's high pressure out to the west here that's building in, increasing the pressure, and the pressure increasing is just creating that wind gradient there. So you are seeing a little bit of winds out there, but it's nothing that's not really expected, or it is expected, I should say. So you're good. Let's see here in Tennessee, huge EF2 tornado happened 5 days ago. I'm pretty sure. When was that? I don't remember that. I don't know. I'm not good with remembering storms. I ain't gonna lie. You got people who's walking storm encyclopedias. I am not. Dude, that's one of my weaknesses with weather is I cannot remember any event you tell me. I covered hundreds of events at this point on this channel, and honestly, I only remember a couple of them. Like, that really, really stand out. I mean, of course, December 21. I remember that one very, very well. There's a couple that stand out, of course, but I'm just not good at that. I don't really remember weather. My strong suit is tracking and forecasting rather than remembering what has happened in the past. Let's see here. How is Tuscaloosa wind? Tamira, I'm not too sure what you mean by that. If you could rephrase that, it'd be greatly appreciated. Anyways, but so we have pretty strong winds on the backside here too. Let's see, Pensacola. We got about 40 mile an hour winds gusting out there. It's pretty high. Yeah, so that's actually so the winds are actually changing direction, I will actually say. So we have all of this warm air So you notice that it's, somewhat humid and whatnot. All this warm, moisture-filled air working its way ahead of the cold front. So this whole line of storms is the cold front here. And then, of course, like I mentioned on the backside, you have that cooler air that's working its way down. So the winds are going to the southeast, coming from the northwest, going to the southeast here. And then ahead of the cold front, you have the winds going to the northeast. So they are perpendicular to each other. They are perpendicular to one another. So the winds do change directions once that cold front rolls over. Let's see. Travis says tornado hit Morgan County, Tennessee 5 days ago. Was I live for that? I'm trying to remember if I was or not. Because, what I remember a lot recently was me covering a lot of the winter weather that's been happening. A lot of the winter weather is what I've been covering most of lately. Just joined, got yelled at by thunder. I hear you. Hey, the good news is though is that actively at the moment we're chilling. Is North Carolina going to get hit by the severe weather that's happening right now? No, you guys are good. The only areas that from here on out with this event have to watch out for this is going to be regions like these areas here. Carolinas are good. You guys have cool enough air. There's no instability for storms out there. So you guys are good. We're good out there. Once again, the regions we got to look out for is like mostly Georgia, southeast Alabama, and portions of like northern Florida and whatnot. Those are the regions that we do got to keep an eye out there for. But yeah, the Carolinas are good. We're good. Kelly says these storms probably cause a headache for those in aviation. Oh, yeah. For sure. Here in Milton, Florida, the wind is picking up. Is there a Milton, Florida? There is a Milton, Florida. I didn't know that. I do remember Hurricane Milton from last year. I was in the eye wall of Hurricane Milton, Category 2. That was a wild storm. Anyways, so August, yeah, I can see that. So you do have that line of storms that's rolling through. It's to be expected. Those winds are going to be a little strong, at some points. The thing is that north of Milton, we do have a thunderstorm, not severe though, so don't worry about that. We do have a storm though. There's another storm to your west you can see here that might reach you within the next little bit. But like we mentioned, once this line of storms passes through, you should be good. Honestly, it's you have a pretty low threat, honestly, for you. While you are still in the active severe weather threat per Storm Prediction Center and whatnot, I think the odds of you getting severe weather is extremely low. I do. I have family members that in North Carolina. That's why I'm asking. Gotcha. Yeah, no, you guys are good. Out in the Carolinas, both north and south, you guys are clear. Once again, southeast Georgia, southeast Alabama, southern Georgia, and basically like portions of northern Florida is really what we're looking at right now with today's event. And of course, Saturday, we kind of repeat everything again. I hate to say this, but I think Saturday could be more of a problem than it was today. At least what I mean by that is more area included in the severe weather risk. So Saturday's risk is actually pretty big. See here. Lauren says, "Good morning. Nice of you to be live for the folks in the storm zone." Of course, like I said, that's what we're here for. I always track weather on my own, and it's I wanted to pull night shift with you guys just to help you guys out because nocturnal tornadic activity and severe weather is just really no joke. So I wanted to be here. Like I said, I've always tracked weather myself, and I enjoy helping you guys out as well. So here we are. Here we are. But good to have you here, my friend. August says, yeah, back when Hurricane Sally came, she went right over top of us. When was Sally? When was Sally? 2020. 2020 was a crazy year for tropical cyclones. We went 30 named storms, I think, if I can remember. 30 named storms in 2020. There's some things I remember when it comes to weather like that. But, yeah, I remember 2020 was an active year. It was pretty crazy. See, August says, thank you for what you do. Yep, you're very welcome. No problem. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support, my friend. Appreciate that. Is Tennessee going to get hit by snow soon? I don't think so. No. Here, let me bring up the models real quickly again. Let's take a quick little peek at the long range, just GFS real quickly. We don't like to go too far here on the channel. I know there's a lot of people who like to go like a week or more out, which we don't really do here. Realistically, I only like to look about 5 or so days out at max. Because the further you go out, the more inaccurate things do get. Or things do get. Good job. Things do get. No. So, but one thing I will say, though, WWT is Saturday, Tennessee will likely be included with severe weather. We will likely have severe weather on Saturday. But, winter weather and stuff like that. I know this shows snow, but this is too far out. This is just, this is for the 19th. This is, 6 days away, basically. Too far. But yeah, we'll look out for severe weather. That's really the next thing for Tennessee that I want you guys to watch out for, is going to be Saturday's severe weather threat. All right, how much longer we got, y'all? Let's take a look at this watch. Let's see, we got 53 minutes. All right, y'all, so we got ourselves just a little bit longer. Not too much longer. We're almost done with the watch here. Look at this. So overall tornado threat in the watch area is a high 70% chance. The probability of an EF2 to EF5 occurring is a moderate 60% chance. Let's take a minute to realize that that's more than half. Wow. That's overall for the day. But remember, this is mostly over with. Overall wind threat, moderate 60% chance. 75 plus mile an hour wind risk is pretty low, 10%. So that's good. Overall hail threat's low, 10%. 2 inches or greater. Hail risk is pretty low as well. Yeah, so main thing we're looking out there for was, a couple tornadoes, of course, and gusty winds and whatnot. Let's see here. As usual, we in Tennessee get ripped off on snow. I hear that. Nashville, Tennessee here. Winter forgot how to winter. Hey, for some people it forgot how to winter, but others it didn't. For some folks, especially like where I grew up in, like the Mid-Atlantic, I used to live in Northern Virginia growing up. So those areas actually got a bit of snow this year, more than usual. Let's see here. What a Trip says, is that in Dothan, Alabama area? Yes. So Dothan is right here. So this is Dothan, Alabama. You guys are in the active threat tonight, so it would not hurt for you guys to obviously be keeping an eye on the weather for Dothan area. If we play this in motion, you guys can see here. So first of all, here's Dothan. Here's the line of storms it's rolling through. This is tracking to the east here overall. In which, you guys out there will be getting this line at some point, probably within the next couple of hours. So keep that in mind. Yes, it is still theoretically possible that we could have an isolated tornado or two, as well as, potential for some gusty winds and whatnot. Dothan, gotcha. I always forget that. But yeah, so odds are very low, honestly. But it would not hurt to keep an eye on it overnight. Let's see here. Tamira says, I'm hearing rumbling. Yeah, so there is going to be a lot of thunder and whatnot on this line here, too. Even up north, actually. Some of the regions up towards Atlanta, I would not be, or now east of Atlanta, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some rumbles of thunder in this as well. Yeah, so... But the good news, like we mentioned at the moment, there is no active tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's really good news as of now. But while the threat for tornadoes and severe weather still definitely continues, we're good as of now. So right now we're vibing. Let's see here. I'd rather have a lot of snow than tornadoes. I agree. I 100% agree. Tornadoes, they suck. They do. They're, if they're in the middle of a field and not hurting anything, they're pretty cool. But like, the moment you get people involved, that's when No, that's when you draw the line, man. But I 100% agree, Kelly. I 100% agree. Snow sucks to work in, though. That is one thing. But I would definitely take that over tornadoes for sure. For sure. All right, let's do a velocity check, guys. Take a quick little peek at the radar. We're going to switch over here to Panama City radar here. We do actually have a special marine warning. This is just a hazard to the boaters, just a little bit of a heads up to the boaters out there. Just off of the coast of Pensacola towards Fort Walton Beach in Destin, Florida. A bit of a heads up, y'all. We do have ourselves a special marine warning in effect here. Winds 34 knots or greater, radar source. So just advising the people for some locally hazardous seas, which, could, especially for small craft. Sorry, y'all. It's 3 a.m. My brain's half awake right now. Or half asleep, however you want to say it. But yeah, for small craft and whatnot, it can become a problem. There's sudden higher waves and there's winds and stuff like that. So it's just advising you folks out there, essentially. All right, velocity check. Let's take a look at this. Just going to monitor the line real quickly, do a little bit of a sweep. As of now, I don't see any areas. Ooh, hold up. What's that? Let me pull up Dothan radar here, or Dothan, sorry. Okay, that's clear. We're good. Yeah, that's just linear lines, just straight line winds, basically, going on through that. Honestly, yeah, I mean, at this point, that's where the risk ends. We're good. As of now, I don't see any areas of rotation or anything like that going on. Let's see here. August says that we ended up with 10 inches or so here in Milton. I was stuck in the house for 3 days. My walker doesn't like snow, but it was cool to look at. Was that during this recent snowstorm? Yeah, I know a lot of you guys got a bit out there. That's crazy because I'm actually here in Polk County here towards Lakeland. Yeah, we didn't get anything out of that. I just remember it was very cold. Very, very cold and wet that day. It was something else. That was a crazy storm, though. I mean, south of New Orleans got like a foot, I think was reported, just south of New Orleans in this area here. Crazy. Very, very crazy. WWT says, do I think we could get an EF5 tornado this tornado season because the models of moisture is very bad? There's no way of knowing, for one. It has been approximately 12 years since our last EF5. We've had some close calls. Arguably, some people would even say we've had an EF5 since, but officially, we have not had one since 2013. There's no way of us telling, if there was, we would make sure to warn people ahead of time. But there is no way of telling if there's going to be an EF5 this year. I mean, it's been a while since we've had one. It has been. But yeah, we'll just have to see, I do think that this season could be fairly active in terms of the South with severe weather this year. I really do think so. In my winter forecast video I put out last October maybe, I don't remember. Honestly, we were pretty spot on with that forecast though. I'm pretty sure somewhere in that forecast I mentioned how it would be really cold and snowy during January and then turn to severe weather and stuff like that possibly later. Seems like we're on track. But I do think that we could be in for quite a year. But yeah, there's just no way of telling. Let's see here. Kelly says, if you're getting tired, get some rest. We understand. I know. I'm trying. You know what, guys? I am trying my hardest to stay up here. It's, it's 3 in the morning, almost 3:30 my time. I just wanted to be up here for night shift because, first of all, nocturnal severe weather is very dangerous. Severe weather in general is dangerous, but, at nighttime, it only turns that up a little bit. While we are pretty chill right now, no active warnings or anything like that, which is good. We still have that threat. We got about 44 minutes left on this tornado watch, and once this expires, I think we'll head off. But I don't know if we're gonna make it to the 44 minutes though. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try for sure. Let's see here. I think it's gonna be an active season. I do too. I really do. K-Jack says, I want to Venmo you. It's asking for my last 4 digits. There should be an option where you just say send without the last 4, K-Jack. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to donate or anything like that. It's much appreciated. I really appreciate it. But you don't have to. But, yeah, I think there is an option where it says to not. Because I've actually seen that before, too. All right, let's do. Let's see. So we already did our velocity check. I do want to take a quick little peek here at the satellite imagery. We have not looked at that here in a little bit. So actually, I do want to take a quick little look here at activity. Here we go. I just got a $5 Venmo donation from K-Jack, I believe. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Let's see the note that K-Jack left us. So thanks for taking the night shift and helping out, for taking the night shift and helping so many stay informed and safe. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, K-Jack. I just got it. I really appreciate that, my friend. That is really, 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 really sweet of you. Thank you. Huge shout out goes to K-Jack for the support. Once again, you did not have to do that, my friend. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. That was very, very nice of you. Big shout out goes to you, K-Jack. Thank you once again. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. But yeah, let's hop over here to the satellite real quickly. See what we got going on here. Okay, here we go. So here's sat. We're gonna actually make this regional here. So we're gonna turn off the data real quickly, and we're gonna turn on the GLM flashes. Here we go. So these are all lightning flashes, you guys can see. So from what it looks like, yeah, I mean, you can see the lightning activity still pretty strong. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. I don't know if you guys were here during it. Remember I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if there was some lightning up in like Georgia and whatnot. Yeah, it looks like we are. Looks like satellite is detecting some lightning activity up in like north central Georgia, up towards Atlanta. At this point, east of Atlanta, but towards the region there. But you can see a lot of heavy lightning, though, still ongoing, though, for folks like, southeastern Alabama and, rolling now into, like, western Florida and whatnot. So, yeah, don't be surprised if you hear some thunder and whatnot. Do not be surprised. Let's see here. Hey, awesome. You're welcome. Thank you, K-Jack. Once again, big thank you. Appreciate it, my friend. See, I think this severe weather could be an active season. Yeah, I do too. We'll have to. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. We will have to see, my friend. All right, how much longer we got? We got about 41 minutes left on that tornado watch. Let's do a quick little velocity check. Honestly, guys, we're pushing 2 hours on this this coverage here. I hate to do this, but okay. Once velocity loads, that might be something to look out there for. Well, maybe not. Let's see here. See, it looks like it's trying the. Looks like it was rotating broadly for a little bit. I think we should be fine. We should be good. We'll keep a close eye on that for a little bit longer. Has there been any? I decided to play Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's fair. Has there been any tornadoes in the last hour and a half? No, thankfully. Very thankful. The tornado threat's still here, like I said, but as of now, we're good. We're chilling right now. Just wanted to be here in case if something did happen. But yeah, this tornado watch honestly should be expiring soon. We got 39 minutes left on the. That's whenever the watch naturally expires. I don't know if they're going to pull it sooner or not, but yeah, the line's mostly through all the regions here. What's up, Michelle? Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. Let's see here. All right, so yeah, the good news is that a lot of that rain is starting to come to a stop for like areas out by Atlanta. Once again, you guys got a lot of rain out here today for sure. That is that. So that's good news. Yeah, you folks out there got a lot of rain. We're gonna take a quick little peek back at this real quickly. Let's see here. So you can see, yeah, we did have in that flash flood warning that we were looking at there. We do have radar estimates of about 4 or 5 inches of rainfall with that streak that rolled through like West Atlanta there. There's a lot of rain, man, a lot of rain. So like I mentioned, for you folks out there, if your area is prone to flooding, just please be careful. Keep an eye out there for it. Thankfully, like I said, a lot of the rain has stopped for a lot of these regions here, but the flooding threat's still ongoing here. Let's see here. K-Jack says it's the mom in me that wants to help out young gifted creators. I appreciate that, K-Jack. That means a lot to me. I really do appreciate it very, very much. Once again, thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. And if there's anything I can do to help you, any questions or anything like that, feel free to let me know. Okay? But thank you so much once again, K-Jack. I really appreciate that. Let's see here. Kelly. Yeah, I can see that. But anyways, let's see here. Yeah, really the only thing we got going on now, guys, is just this special marine warning. I think we might call it soon, to be fair. I mean, we are approaching about that 2-hour mark here. Honestly, I think a lot of the event's over with, knock on wood. That tornado watch is about to expire here in about 37 minutes or so. So I think we're probably going to call it short here soon. But I just want to go ahead and say thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you all for hanging out with us. If you have not already, consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. That way you guys can stay weather aware and up to date with this crazy, crazy weather that we're dealing with. Once again, we're going to have to be extra weather aware on Saturday. Got another day of nasty, nasty weather. Tomorrow, I'm going to do an update for you guys. Here. On Saturday's risk. What I'm thinking in the plan book is going to be, I think I'm going to do a video, maybe a short video in the morning or afternoon tomorrow. Just depends on when I get up at this point because, it's already 3:30. But I will go live later tomorrow night. Okay, so some point tomorrow night we're going to go live. We'll do another live stream, just like an update live stream on the weather. It's a forecast live stream and stuff like that. So we'll keep you guys updated with everything. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to be shifting over into Saturday's risk because got unfortunately another nasty day of severe weather expected. Kelly says you got to be tired. You have no idea. I'm exhausted. I am really tired. Like I said, I'd love to stay for the rest of this, but I got to call it a night here. It's getting late or it's very late, and I'm starting to feel it. But anyways. Sonia says, thank you, Andrew. No problem. You're very, very welcome. Kelly says, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Sounds good, my friend. Thank you so much. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate y'all. Once again, K-Jack, thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate all your support. Thank you. Renita as well. I think Renita went to bed, but I appreciate your support as well. Thank you guys for the support. It's greatly appreciated. Like I mentioned, you donators, the people who have supported us directly like that, you guys really help keep us afloat. We really couldn't do this without you, as it does help out a ton. So I appreciate you guys very, very much. So once again, thank you guys. K-Jack, once again, thank you. August says, good night, brother. Stay safe. And my name is Jesus. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Let's see. Feel better, WWT. Let's see here. Lauren says, get some rest. Thank you for all you do. You're very welcome. Very, very welcome. Kelly says you've gained a new loyal subscriber. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that very, very much. But all right, everybody, thank you all for joining. We're going to go ahead and head off here. The stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes. So that'll give you a little bit of time to go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, your family, anybody you're hanging out with in the chat. Once again, everybody, thank you all so much for joining us. Once again, I hate to cut it short. We got 34 minutes left, so guys, whenever it hits 4 a.m. Eastern or 3 Central, that tornado watch will be expired, and you guys will be pretty much good to go. So yeah, the threat's pretty much mostly over. Just make sure you have a way to receive warnings and whatnot. I know most phones have warnings that go off, and if you have a weather radio, just turn it on alert mode and whatnot. And all right, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Much love to you guys. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. Please be careful out there. And all right, everybody, we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, peace out, my friends. Catch y'all in the next one. See you later.